Hey guys, Metal Viking 82 here, back with a new Viking Orations. Got another review for you today, and this is the first of two Indiana bands that I am going to be talking about in these reviews that I'm doing today. And the first one up is Death Ensemble, with their lone release simply entitled Demo 2019. And if you're not familiar with Death Ensemble, they were a black and thrash metal band based out of Indianapolis, Indiana, that were active between 2018 and 2020 when they officially changed their name to Grave Ripper. Yes, the same Grave Ripper whose EP I reviewed here recently. This is basically them before they switched names and styles. So yeah, in this version of the band, you have Corey Parks on guitars and vocals, Chris Pilot on bass, Kyle Kripe on drums, and Raymond Carlisle also handling guitars. He is formerly of the band Catatonic Atrocity, which is another amazing death metal band from here in Indiana. He was also a former member of Sarcophagy, among other bands, and him and Kyle both left the band in 2020, so they are not a part of the current incarnation known as Grave Ripper. As I said, this is the lone demo that they released under this name. It is 3 tracks, clocks in just a little over 13 minutes in length, and it was self-released by the band, limited to 100 copies. So I'm really happy that I was able to secure a copy of this, that they actually had any left, because this is a very interesting listen compared to Grave Ripper. So, for the first 18 seconds of this demo, it sounds like old school black metal riffing with the tremolo. Then you get a drum roll style intro as well, and then suddenly it just switches gears into this more thrash centered riffing style and pace. And right there, that just shows you that already they were trying to perfect the art of switching styles, combining two different things and making that switch seamlessly between the two without making it sound wonky. And yeah, it actually, this first track, it actually does that a couple of different times. And even the second track has a bit of a black metal feel to the intro. But overall, I think this demo also has some really good drum production here. You get some occasional blast beats and some really solid double bass work, I have to say. Now, the biggest difference you'll notice is Corey Park's vocals here. Here, he actually goes for a more traditional thrash metal shout, more than the more death metal kind of leanings of Grave Ripper. He still does a really good job on the vocals, I think, though I will be honest, I do prefer his current style a lot more, but he definitely does not do bad here. Now, I know I haven't talked about the bass much, but I will get to that with this next little bit here. Going to track number 1, The Entity Returns. There's this really cool riff that comes in at like the minute and 28-second mark, and it appears again at 3:16. That just sounds so badass the way it is played. And the bass on this song, it just sounds so odd to me in terms of the tone. I don't know why. I mean, overall, throughout the whole demo, is easily heard in the mix. It sounds pretty good. It has a pretty decent tone. But for some reason, in this song, it sounds odd, especially when he gets to the more faster, kind of groovy parts where they're kind of, he's just kind of plucking away at the strings. I don't know, something about it just sounded really off to me, and I don't know why. The only other thing that I noticed on here is track number 3, Arrogance Demised. This right here is probably the thrashiest song on the entire demo. That heavy riff that it has with the steady building double bass and that nice little groove that it settles in about 44 seconds in, and Corey's vocal delivery, just everything about it just screams thrash metal. And it's just honestly a real headbanger of a song, I have to say. About 2 minutes and 21 seconds into it, there's this really nasty riff that comes in, and then it settles into a really heavy groove at about the 2:34 mark, and then all culminates in this nice whammy bar led guitar solo at 2:59. I just absolutely loved that solo. Overall, this is definitely a more thrash-oriented demo, I think. It's not as dirty production-wise either compared to Grave Ripper. And the black metal elements and kind of death metal elements are really kept to a minimum here. You get a little bit in the opening track, and as I said, the intro to track number 2 entitled, let me see here, Gods of Eldritch Horrors, excuse me. Yeah, has that little bit of a black metal intro, but other than that, this is just like straight up thrash, I think. yeah, it's still a really good demo, and I really love this demo, but I really like their current style as Grave Ripper a little bit more. I love that sound. I love that direction, that dirtiness that it has. But that's not to say that this is not worth checking out at all. I will definitely be leaving a link down below so you can check this out. I do believe the band still has copies, and if so, I definitely recommend picking this up because this is really solid. I would definitely give it an 8.5 out of 10. And yeah, that is going to do it. Thank you so much for watching and subscribing. And until next time, stay brutal.